Hello everybody and welcome back to Kharak 7. We're finally going to finish this one off, which is timely because today, it's 24 minutes past midnight, so Kharak 8 is actually today. But no matter, I will indeed finish the finals before Kharak 8 begins, as you can see. So some context for this match, Catharsis is actually the one of lower seed now because I beat him of course in the qualifier section. In tournaments past, we typically had it that person would do the pick and ban first, but this tournament we tried out a new system where the pick and ban would first be done by the person with the the higher performance in the qualifier, the lower seed number. So that's going to be me, so I get to pick and ban first. And then on top of that, of course, we played in the qualifier section and I beat him. So you gotta wonder if there's maybe going to be some, how do you say, maybe that'll have some kind of an effect on his play. We'll have to see though. But let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna be picking this map, of course. I've picked Firebase Krill. And here we go. It's gonna be Khaaneph versus Gaalsien. And in tournaments past, I've said like, oh, he's Khaaneph. I'll play Khaaneph too then, because I don't really like playing Gaalsien against them. But I've actually gotten much better at it recently, so I'm gonna choose to just go with Gaalsien against this. I hope I've got the replay viewer installed. Yeah, I think I do. We'll see. So, I do. Wonderful. So, in we go. And I'm going to be going with Sandscreamer Fabrication immediately, moving that production cruiser out. You know how it goes. That's a typical thing for me. Let's see what Catharsis has got planned. So he's doing double salvager right now. Put all 4 on the CUs. This is a more typical opener, of course. We also noticed the base runner heading off in this direction. Almost certainly going to be doing some kind of shenanigans. I feel like the Khaaneph base runner either gets retired or it makes blast runs and tries to do something funny, you know, like, pretty rare to see it not do one of those things. Sandscreamer Fabrication coming in just now, about 30 seconds after mine, so he's going to be fine on the defense, but he may get held off the second base for a little while. And that, of course, I know I've said this like a million times, but that's kind of the goal of my initial little push here. Not really to do, like, game-ending damage, I just want to see if I can hold him off of his second a little bit, so that I can get just that slight economic edge. So to that end, I'm going to continue making salvagers, etc. Now let's see what this base runner's got in mind. This is actually a very nice position for it, because as you see, I'm going to throw a scanner over here. I want to see, you know, where he is. But this is far enough out there that I'm definitely not going to see that, so I get to see that. I know that it's not in this area, but of course he's already moved. However, I am going to catch it with a Sandscreamer, but that means that's one Sandscreamer less that's going to be up in his face here, so I think that's definitely worth it. Yeah, you know, when you play against Khaaneph, always remember, find the base runner. That's your #1 goal in the early game, because it's almost certainly going to do something funny against you. And if he's retired it and you find that out, that's good information too, right? Because you want to know that kind of stuff. First initial scuffle going to go down here, and I should take 1 kill right there. Yep, quite nicely. Not going to lose anyone for that either. I found the base runner right there. This blaster I'm going to go down from notch, probably detonate on me. Yep, there you go. So that's a good move there, because now the base runner still is alive, still can do whatever it wants. I still have to, you know, send someone out there to deal with it, because, yep, you can see I'm sending 1 Sandscreamer right there. Because if I just leave him here, he could still do some blaster and shenanigans, but it looks like I've kind of scared him off. Meanwhile, Salvager's getting harassed a little bit. This one's getting dangerously low, but he's probably going to get out of there. And Refinery Mode is on the way for Catharsis pretty early. No sign of it yet for me. But once again, that shouldn't matter if I can hold him off this base. That is kind of expected that he would get that faster, seeing as I've spent, you know, more on this attack here, but if I'm able to hold him off of this second, it shouldn't really matter. And in fact, looks like 1 Salvager going to go down right here. Almost certainly at the cost of a Sandscreamer, perhaps? Ooh. 2. Oh, that was quite messy, actually, how I kind of, like, bunched them together. You can tell I didn't even realize that was happening at all. So 2 skimmers go down right there. Now I've also got an armor 1. That's going to be helpful. It basically means I'll win any direct Sandscreamer fight that we get into right here. But oh, and it's also nice, of course, against blast drones, because, you know, they can kill a Sandscreamer in 1 hit, but if you get armor 1, they won't. But he is going to be on 2 bases, mining pretty fluently off of that one right there. Although he's a little bit missaturated, but that's alright. Or just that his carry needs to get a little bit closer, is what I mean by that. So both of us going to chew up each other's base runners right here. Looks like I'm not too interested in that one. I know I can pick it off later on. Oh, this one moves at 46. So the Coalition base runner moves 1 speed slower. That's very significant. I see the blast drone there, and I'm like, oh shoot. But fortunately, it's not going to be able to do too much. The detonation is going to allow the kill on that sand skimmer right there, but that's not a huge loss. And now I'm just going to head out there, see if I can kill off his base runner. He's going to go down the assault ship line. And refinery mode about to finish for me, so I will be on 2 bases as well. Let's actually check. He doesn't have salvagers over here just yet. You can see he's had to focus a little bit more on the defense. So my base here is actually going to be mining a little bit better, right? Well, no, I only have 1 on RUs. It's pretty even, and since he was on the bases first, he probably has the economic edge here, but just very slightly. So I'd say my initial attack has actually not been the most effective, not like an outright failure or anything like that, but it hasn't been as good as it could have been. And I'm still going to be happy in this game because he's going assault ships and the tech is coming out much later than mine, and I'm going railguns. I've already got that tech. In fact, I may already be producing once this salvager finishes, or I may just go straight into eco. But either way, that's going to give me a nice edge in terms of, you know, like military here. These sand skimmers are going to be pretty annoying. They will eventually kill this base runner right here, but first I'm able to put down the scanner. I'm also able to extract. So I might even be able to come in and save it. 2 sand skimmers does not a dead base runner make. I mean, I literally just said they'll be able to come in and kill it. What I meant is, you know, like eventually, right? Just one guy over here scouting to see what's going on. I scout over there, see that he's not on his 3rd base. That makes me happy because my production cruiser is already out, and just like that, I should now be taking the eco edge. And I think what this kind of reflects is the fact that when you have that military edge, your opponent often is forced to make, you know, he's forced to defend, he's forced to do something to hold his base, and you can get that eco edge eventually. That's one reason why I really love, you know, being up in people's faces at the beginning of the game every time. This guy here just kind of getting left out to dry. I hope he's not just going to let that die. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. He'll be fine, I believe. But that was a little closer than it needed to be, I'm sure you can see. Yeah, there's a rhyme. Let's see. So, sand skimmer is going to go down. That guy will be fine, but only with 166 left. Now, I have done sand skimmer and railgun for almost every game that I play. It's a very comfortable build for me. I know exactly what I need to do. I'm feeling just fine about this. Getting the upgrades for my units here. I already have anti-air research. We'll see when I get it out on the field, but I should be just fine in this position. Now you notice Catharsis is already making air units. One of them about halfway finished, Afterburner on the way. I almost think he accidentally canceled. Well, maybe he canceled them to get the resources for siege fabrication. That may be the case, but I noticed he had 2 yellow over there and then only 1. It seemed like it took an inordinately long amount of time to build, so he may have actually canceled that. But yeah, going for Afterburner suggests to me this is not going to be like a one-time air push, and then, you know, I still have these units and maybe I can find a use for him. He really does want to invest into it. And anytime you're going to invest into air, you need to get that tech if you're playing as the Gaalsien, because it makes them so much better. It's like 60% boost, yeah, to maximum speed. It's a big deal. They move at like 600 speed at that point, getting across the map in like seconds. More sand skimmer upgrades on the way for me. Rating is also finished, so I can chase. That may prove to be pertinent right here. A little fight going to be taken by these sand skimmers. But there are assault ships in the hood that are going to stop any shenanigans from going down right there. This guy's wounded, really needs to pull back. He may just get left out to dry. Yeah, he will. That's a little bit unfortunate. I may take another really beefy shot here. That's not so bad as I thought. And the base runner heal is going to be good too. There's also railguns in the area. This may prompt the launch from Catharsis though. And yep, there you go. Interceptor's going to launch now. Is the anti-air there? It's actually in the area. Perhaps a little bit late though, and I stand to lose this heavy railgun. It just gets instantly taken out there. I can back up now though, and perhaps bait these, no, I can't. So I'm just gonna lose an assault railgun right there. Also gonna lose the base runners. That's a very nice fight there by Catharsis. However, I'm not exactly reeling. I still have, you know, units. I have 3 production cruisers. In fact, my economy is probably better, and I do have anti-air in the area. So, you know, this is okay for me, but definitely that was a good fight for him. And, you know, there's Catharsis finding value wherever he can, right? The double missile ship barrage is actually going to be quite good. And I should be able to take out all of these sand skimmers with my sand skimmers and then my railgun will be just fine. Catharsis accidentally slipping allows his units to fly underneath, over the missile ships there, takes a lot of damage. And that was a very good fight for me, so basically trading blow for blow here, but that's got to favor me. I do have the better economy. Catharsis just now getting up on the 3 bases. Siege cruiser fabrication finished though, and he's going to be producing one quite soon. But this is a problem that you often run into when you go down this line. By the way, losing one sand skimmer for one assault ship right there. This is a problem you often run into when you go down this line, which is that it's very difficult to produce production cruisers because you're always making something else. You know, you've got air units that you need to make. You've got you know, siege cruisers, etc. And that Gaalsien carrier, of course, only able to produce one thing at a time, so always slows you down a bit there. Now I'm going to move my carrier off in this direction while my army heads off in that one. This is a move I like to do kind of just in the mid-early game. This is the mid-game, I would say, because your carrier's not really in danger of anything, really, unless you know your opponent has a really big heavy railgun force, but he's gone assault ships, he certainly doesn't. So I can just head over here and kind of use my carrier to plug one of the holes in my potential defense. And at this stage of the game, of course, the carrier really is the king. All my upgrades are finished, by the way. I'm getting damage 2 on the sand. Well, they're not finished, I guess, but they're on the way. But armor 3 is already finished on those railguns. And I mentioned earlier I figured it would be a commitment then of Catharsis to go into air, but he hasn't actually made any more of those, just sticking with one right now. I'm going to take some shots at these railguns here with his, what are they called, interceptors? What do they call it? Do I even play this game? My sand skimmer is actually quite out of position right here, and I do need more of them as well. I've made quite a large railgun army, but that's pretty susceptible to, you know, pretty susceptible to siege, pretty susceptible to sand skimmers. I need to get more sand skimmers out there. Probably want to split these guys up too, because it's a little risky, of course, having them together. But yeah, Khaaneph siege, ridiculously good. I'm sure you all know that by now. So I'm going to have to be very careful with how I approach that. You can see me also getting assault ship fabrication. This is to go into air, most likely, although it may be siege. Because normal siege is actually a pretty good counter to Khaaneph siege. And the idea here is, of course, that I want to, you know, I just want to keep teching up. Sand skimmers and railguns is quite good, but if I can also throw, you know, like, interceptors into the mix or something like that, even better, right? So, no reason not to be doing that. You can see I've also made another base runner, or 2 actually, which are going to try to extract the artifacts right now. This guy's definitely ready for the barrage. Yep, yeah, he is. This guy here as well. I love how Catharsis puts these guys up on these high ground positions here. Isn't that so nice? And you can see me splitting already, because I know he's got an eye on like where my guys are. So like, I'm not gonna get hit by this, but he's actually pretty far away. Doesn't have the range upgrade yet either. He should probably click on that. That's a very important one. But yeah, I love these high ground positions. It's very difficult to push past these. You know, very defensive. And you may argue he doesn't want to play defensive at this point, but either way you cut it, he is actually behind. So this is very, very nicely done by him, I think. Barrage is going to come down on this location and actually catches these guys quite nicely. I was not paying attention, as you can see. Base runner heal going to be deployed as well to see if I could perhaps heal those railguns a bit, but I don't think that was particularly effective. But you know, why not? This guy here is going to score, certainly. There he goes. And that assault ship should be taken out as well here. With no barrage on this siege cruiser, Catharsis probably feels like he's in a lot of pressure over on this side right here. And actually, I might want to push on that side myself. If I had realized he was this vulnerable, I may have done just that. As you can see, he's mobilizing really the whole army over there, except for these 2 siege cruisers which are off on the side. This is obviously quite a big investment here. But he's going to say, I need to get some counterplay, I'm going to try to push in myself. I do see him with these missile ships, I've got my carrier in the area, and I have interceptors on the way, by the way. And if you don't have anti-air yet, interceptors are a very good counter to siege because they do well against armored units. And, you know, cruisers are big, so interceptors are not going to miss at all. Ooh, potential for a really big barrage here, but he's not going to take it. Actually, this is a nice move by him. He's probably going to catch his base runner off guard a little bit. I tried to do the missile ship barrage, but I think I actually, like, cancelled it a little bit early there, which is pretty sad. So artifact is going to get dropped over there. Missile ship also going to get taken out here. Even though I'm fighting up the high ground, I think my upgrades are so much better that I should be able to take this fight. Got damage 2 armor too, after all. These 2 siege cruisers, however, are a big deal. I need to definitely find an answer to this. You see I've got some railguns in the area, that's going to be fine, but pretty soon the interceptors will launch, and that's going to make pretty quick work of him. In fact, they've almost got an angle right there. That would be really big. He's trying to mobilize his sand skimmers over there, see if he can get them into that position, and to that end, he has gotten raiding, as you can see. Beefy Barrage going to come, actually not so beefy, and then I'm going to deploy Base Runner Heal, which is going to heal his units. You can tell it's just kind of reflected in it. Oh, but look at the area of effect right there. Because they're moving through this choke point, the air units are just going to make really quick work of that. As well as the 2 missile ships hitting into them. That was disgusting. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I forgot about that actually. I remember now. That is what happened. Anyway, I can also attack with impunity here. I know that there's no anti-air in the area, so I can just kind of flank down as many of these guys as I want. I do need to be careful that he doesn't catch me on the retreat, but I should be fine. And I actually also have the afterburner, so I don't really need to worry about that either. I even have the air, I have the numbers in air at the moment, which is really nice for me. Catharsis is seeming to recognize that he's getting missile ship fabrication, he's making more air units. He's a really nice backstab on the side though, as I had his units routing, he was going for the attack and then he got pulled back. You know, that's always a good time to attack your opponent. He's going to pull off a production cruiser right here, and that's very nice. And at this point, things are looking pretty dire for Catharsis. I've also got a huge number of railguns right next to his carrier here, and if I knew that that was the case, you could definitely see some shenanigans going right there. Upgrades are in my favor, but oh man, can you tell who's focus firing right here? But it looks like Catharsis is doing it a bit better, I think. So he might actually manage to take this fight despite the fact that I've got the numbers, but I have so much production here, it probably is not going to matter. American World War II, or no, Russian World War II tactics, right? Yeah, you know, he definitely wins this fight, but we've got more guys, so let's go for it anyway. This might look like a squishy target, but there's air getting launched. Barrage by the missile ship is huge, look at that. And suddenly those sand skimmers definitely feel sort of dead in the water. Probably gonna prompt Catharsis to launch now, but there is anti-air in the area, he may get scared off by that. But yeah, this is really a mess for Catharsis. I mean, what would you do in his position? You've got to get anti-air, you've got to get more sand skimmers, you've got to have something to do with the railguns at the end of all of that too. Gonna find one interceptor there, and that's a nice pickup, but that's all he's gonna get. There's anti-air over here as well, although this is still a very nice target, I gotta say. Looks like he's gonna get scared off by it though. Or is he? See, I think he should dock the 2 that are injured and then go for it again, but he's not going to, he's gonna head back. Dangerously close to flying over, some anti-air over there, there's some over here as well, of course. But he sees that all. You can see the vision on air units is superb, of course. Action kind of going on 2 fronts now. I need to back away. Oh, that's not so good, is it? Yeah, you gotta watch out for siege cruisers. Khaaneph siege, you know, they're pretty deadly. And actually, this is excellent. He's gonna find a production cruiser, and that's really what he needs to get to stay in this game right here. As that, oh, but he is gonna fly over the anti-air on the way back, so he's gonna get punished a little bit. Only loses 1 though, I think. And that's really not bad at all. That's definitely what he needed, right? Was to get pickups like that. However, now that I know his air is docking, I'm gonna launch my air instead. I'm gonna see if I can maybe get a siege cruiser pickup. That would obviously be like the target that I'm going for at this point. But I guess I got scared off by production cruisers there. I choose to back out of that one. And I think this displays quite well sort of my, I don't know, if I would move in with sand skimmers and railguns at the same time, I think I could have won this game a long time ago. But this definitely kind of displays how I'm very afraid to push in. I'm always afraid, especially against Khaaneph, that I'm just gonna like suddenly get killed, you know what I mean? And maybe that's the reason. I mean, that's not so bad. You see I just picked off a production cruiser there, that's obviously superb. But, you know, like that whole siege cruiser, oh man, look at this barrage. Yeah, you don't want to push into that one. But yeah, like these siege cruisers are just, you know, so able to put down the hurt on me. I'm always very afraid to push in against Khaaneph. I think this replay pretty well displays that, doesn't it? You can see my air units launching over there. They're going to get repulsed, so they're not able to find any value. There is anti-air in that area, of course. These guys narrowly escaped from death. I don't think any of them went down there, but they very well could have. Those were good barrages. Knowing all 3 siege cruisers are here, probably the right move is to head over in this direction with the sand skimmers, but there is actually a decent force of assault ships right there, so Catharsis doing a really nice job splitting his guys up, and here's some Gaalsien siege. So like I said, you know, if you're dealing with Khaaneph siege, this is a really nice way to respond. The indirect fire is a really big deal. If you can just get vision on these guys, they start dying, you know what I mean, and they really don't have any response. Barrages are also good from the Khaaneph siege, but not that good that they'll be able to, you know, kill those guys. You can see me splitting that missile ship right there. I was really worried about the barrage. Turns out it was fired quite late, so it was actually okay. That's a nice pickup, you know, any missile ship you can take out, why not? Good cruise missile by Catharsis, by the way, just a little bit further forward, and he would have probably hit like 3 of them at the same time. And he's starting to get his upgrades too, so I've enjoyed, you know, I've enjoyed the upgrades basically for free this whole game. Like, I've always had the better ones, but that's changing now. And he's doing a good job keeping himself in this game. You know, he's got the range upgrade on the siege. EMP is what Tomcat always does, and it's super annoying, so I'd be a fan of that. That's not a bad move. Let's see, so he's found one missile ship isolated there. He manages to take it out, but at the cost of a interceptor. I think he's doing this because he wants to clear the way for the interceptors to take the space runner. There is anti-air in the area. And one more interceptor is going to go down. He's going to choose to not stay in that area. Am I going to get the range upgrade, by the way? It doesn't look like it, at least not for a while. I actually researched precision bombers as well, but I haven't used them. Oh, this is very bad for me, though. You can see I've definitely gotten caught out of position right here. Normally the missile ships can buy me a little bit of time, but in this case I totally missed with the barrage as well. He's not going to get to the rail guns, which is pretty fortunate for me, but he is going to... Oh no, but he stands still underneath the barrage from the siege cruiser. That's pretty unfortunate. But yeah, he is actually going to be able to take out a couple of railguns, but now I've got him on the route, and it's not looking too good for him either. One more artifact, probably going to extract right here, I would think. And that would be the game-ending artifact there as well, so he definitely needs to be able to stop that. The Sandstormer's definitely out of position. They're not going to be able to affect this fight. There are a bunch of siege cruisers here, but they've all used their barrages already. And I've got siege in the area as well, so either I'm going to extract here, or I'm going to force them into a very bad engagement. This is not, you know, where you want. Although, actually, now that I say that, anti-air is not in position. But I think the base runner extracts anyway, and that is going to be game. Really nice game there, I think, because Catharsis did a really great job of playing from behind. And he did actually really well in the very beginning also, just holding off that early aggression. I think he did that almost perfectly. Unfortunately, it didn't work out too well for him because I was able to expand my eco a bit faster. I'm not totally sure how I did that, but it worked out. But yeah, you can see he's going for like the mass siege cruiser, and I can say, if you can get like 5, 6, 7 of these guys, like, oh man, it's really rough. But in 1v1, it's so hard to do that, you know, your opponent can really keep you honest a lot better in 1v1 than he can normally. Oh, and look, I'm also launching the air units at this point. Yeah, he was about to get really heavily hurt here if he had actually managed to stop that extraction. But yeah, I thought that was a really nice game. Let me just go ahead and load the other one in. The other replay, that is, from map 2. This one, of course, is going to be Catharsis' pick, so we'll have to see what he chooses for that one. Let's just check the eco real quick here. I think I've turned the sound off somehow. No music. Economies are quite close, as you can see, just a little bit better for me. I think like the defining moment of this game was when those 2 siege cruisers were like going up that high ground position into the choke point, and they just instantly got killed. And then the Sandskimmers were there to follow up, but my Sandskimmers got into position and I took a pretty good trade there. I think at that point he basically fell behind. Was not able to recover from that. Let's move on to map 2 though. It's going to be on the Boneyard. This is his pick, of course. We've got no music. It's a little odd. I'll see if I can fix that real quick here. There's actually a button on the keyboard. Did you know that turns the music on and off? It's the plus sign or the equals sign. Have I got sound at all? Is that my problem? Yeah, I've got sound. Hey, music. Wonderful. So, here we are on the Boneyard. Catharsis is spawning up in the north, me down here on the south. This is a map that I actually haven't seen for a little while. Generally a very good map. Most of the players really enjoy this one. They tend to agree, I'm trying to think, yeah, they tend to agree that this spawn here is a little bit better than the other one. but not by too much, and it's kind of a map that most people agree is sort of a good display of skill from both sides. I'm always not really a fan of, how do you call it, like, imbalance, and just meaning that it's not exactly the same in map design in RTS games. Like in Company of Heroes 2, you know, the maps are always a little bit different. In this game, the maps they're not symmetrical. That's the word, asymmetry. Got it. Never really a big fan of that. Like, I'm fine about the fact that it's asymmetrical, like, from this axis, but I don't really like the way that it is from this axis as well, you know what I mean? Because we've got this thing down here, we've got, like, these, like, line of sight blockers are, like, more on the side of this player here, so... But yeah, this is a very cool opening, if I remember correctly. We're gonna have a little scuffle here with the sand skimmers initially, and I think I should take this one because I've got. Oh, but look at this guy. Here's the blast drone, and that can make all the difference right here. Gets a good hit, 2 kills, and that already makes it so much harder to fight against this. Wait, did you see that? The sand skimmer just came out and died instantly. But yeah, that already makes things really rough for me anyway in the early game here. And that's one reason why I used to always play Khaaneph against Khaaneph, was because I was so worried something like this was going to happen. And look at the way that Catharsis capitalizes. He's going to stay on me, keep me in a meat grinder effect here. Pulls away the wounded guy, he's not going to lose any units here. This is a beautiful play by Catharsis. More blast drones getting produced, just one at a time. As opposed to like 2 at a time, and he's only got 1 pace winner. I know, that was kind of a stupid comment, whatever. He needs to pull this guy back here, probably, like he did before, because I have another sand skimmer coming out. That's obviously going to be my target. But yeah, this is definitely me on emergency mode. This is not really how I'm used to playing the opener, because I'm definitely going to have to be on the defense here. Gotten Power Reserve 1 already, so I'll be able to hold this off. Definitely not anything completely ridiculous that's going to go down here. But I'm thinking to myself, alright, how am I going to get back in this game, because I'm clearly very far behind. And don't you love this from Catharsis too, the way he mixes things up, you know, he clearly recognizes what he needs to do to win series. I really enjoy watching him play. Double blast drone here is going to come in against the salvagers, and I need to be able to split here. If I can kill one of them, I'll be safe. They're going to get not a bad hit at all. 4 salvagers, that's really bad for me. So it gets worse and worse, but I am going to be able to push off the attack here. These units, of course, very weak. Should probably take advantage by moving in immediately. I don't know, though. And it's going to be in early refinery mode by Catharsis. Why not? I mean, that's definitely what he's entitled to at this point. He's done so well. He can take a very safe game now. And so this is definitely not looking to be in my side. My typical thing is to go for railguns, but I don't think that's going to cut it in this scenario. The reason, of course, being that when you're this far behind, you know, railguns are more of an offensive unit. In fact, I would say he should probably get either railguns or assault ships and stay close. Because those 2 choices are both offensive ones that could potentially get me out of the game immediately. But at the same time, if he plays economy focused, he may... Oh no! No! He cancelled refinery mode. I don't know why he did that. That, I think, was not a very wise move. Maybe it was a misclick, in fact. And that would... Yeah, oh. I think that was a misclick. That's actually a really sad one right there. Because you could tell he was definitely ahead, right? But this may put him not behind, but not as ahead as he would like to be. Make no mistake though, he still has the edge. He's going to get an artifact out here. He's already done eco damage to the point where his economy is clearly better than mine. In fact, my salvagers having some kind of dance party over here. They don't totally know how to be efficient, it seems. Trades in the middle are going very well in my favor, and that would be because I've got armor 1. But I'm able to quite easily micro this. I just have to be careful about that blast drone, but not cause me too much grief just yet. Yeah, and I really think it had to have been a misclick why he canceled refinery mode. He'll probably tell us in the comments section below, but that's pretty rough. Look at this, doing a great job keeping this guy off in the distance, though. I'm not going to be able to capitalize on that here. I should be able to get this blast drone, but there's actually 2 of them. Ooh, so I need to be careful here. Otherwise, I probably would have chased and killed that one. I think that was pretty easy pickings, but yeah, so both of us having gone down the assault ship line, we're going to be able to see quite a different game here. It's basically a mirror match now, you know what I mean? Except that he has Khaaneph Siege, which generally would be viewed as better. So, Excuse me. So we'll have to see what he's planning to do with it. Interceptor fabrication already on the way, and there's really no way I can match his interceptor production, is there? I don't think that would be a wise move to try that. Hey, look at that. Alright, so I guess I do think it's a wise move to try that. Or at least I did on Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and get interceptor fabrication as well. Now you can see I'm going to be a little bit behind here. Eco is also definitely in his favor. Although once again this carrier needs to move just a little bit closer, but I think that he should be okay in that case. Like taking the interceptor fight, he probably should win that one. We'll have to see how this develops, but it's not looking terribly good just yet. So I'm going to send one guy over here. I want to see, is he already on 3 bases? That would really be like, that would be kind of crushing if I saw that, but I do want to know. But fortunately what I'm going to go out there and see is that he's not on 2 bases. Things are actually just fine for me. 2 interceptors already queued up for him. And if I get sight of his carrier, I should be able to see that. You can tell when the Khaaneph are producing interceptors, this light here will turn on. Little concave of assault ships coming in now. And I've got armor 1, he's just about to get it as well. I'm going to see that error is being produced here, so I know that much. Or maybe not actually, I may not have noticed it, because as you can see there's definitely action going on everywhere here. The one assault ship managing to slip behind the lines there, but having the high ground I should be able to deal with that. That won't be a problem, I don't think. And I'm just going to keep this guy here, you know, watching to see if he goes up to 3rd base or not. Another pair of 2 blast drones here, and you can tell the idea is if you can get my army occupied over here, maybe you can come in and do it again. And why not, I say? I think that's a really nice move. You know, to keep your opponent on their toes that way. I'm going to go ahead and say I probably did not realize that he had, interceptors on the way, because if I had, I probably would be making anti-air right now, not, you know, going for another production cruiser. Because that could be really risky. But we saw in the last game that one of the reasons I was able to get ahead quite nicely is because I just expanded my eco quite a lot faster than he did. And that may be kind of like, we may be seeing a bit of a repeat of that, as I know my opponent is not on 3 bases here, and here I come, you know, setting up my 3rd right now. These units here are very clumped, probably want to split up so that they don't get just wrecked by these air units, but I said split them up, man. Oh. It's actually going to be okay. The interceptors are not going to capitalize particularly well, as they sometimes do. But yeah, there you go, there's the split up. You always want to split up your units against interceptors because they are very inaccurate, so if they're attacking single targets, they're going to miss a lot of shots. And if you're bunched up a lot, sometimes, you know, you'll end up, you know, like getting hit by the missed shots, and you never want to do that. That's obviously bad. Catharsis is currently making a production cruiser, then he's going to continue air production. Meanwhile, I'm on my 3rd air unit getting produced just now. And looking at it now, I've got to say, I'm not sure exactly what value he's gotten out of the air units just yet. He killed off 2 assault ships, but he's lost quite a bit of time, whereas production cruiser was not yet ready, and you can see that mine is. So looking at it that way, perhaps that actually was the correct move, regardless of whether I had seen air tech or not, to go for this production cruiser. Let's make another salvage or something? Yeah, right there. Okay, so yeah, I'm fully saturated already. He's just now moving out there. At this point then, the economies look unequal. It looks like I amazingly have the edge now in economy. Not really sure how I managed to pull that off, but it'll work. Let's see, he's gone for missile ship tech as well. He wants to get missile ships for the anti-air probably. And you probably noticed this in Kharak Cup 5, I believe it was, where he beat me in the qualifier section. That him having that anti-air there made a big difference, so I can see exactly why he's doing that. That makes a lot of sense to me. Air units are getting launched now, and I'm gonna not quite see them just yet. Right there. I see the air units launched now. I'm probably gonna launch my own immediately. There you go, I do. Because this is enough to kill a production cruiser, and that's probably what he's gonna go for, but if I can come in here and get the first volley, which I do, I'm gonna trade rather effectively. So we've both lost... I've lost 1, he's lost 2. He's gonna retreat out there though, and I'm not gonna be able to capitalize. But that means that I didn't lose a production cruiser, so that was a proper defensive error. And I'd like to point out, by the way, look how well Catharsis micros this air. I don't know if you noticed that, but he came in hit this thing, moved out, hit the assault ships, moved back in, and hit it again, like boom, boom, boom. You can really artificially increase the fire rate if you change what target you're going after, like during the flight, because every time it passes over it, it can fire the missiles. So that was like insane micro right there, and he did really well. I've got to say, that was very impressive. Small details, but I think it's significant. He's gonna launch air again, so am I actually, at just about the same time. I have got one more. Now he has anti-air back at home. I'm not gonna be able to chase in there. But this is going to be good. I have the first shot in engagement. I am going to fly over the anti-air, though, of a missile ship and a production cruiser, so I need to dock immediately. Oh, why am I still here? I'm so bad with air, guys. I'm sorry. So I lost, like, 2 guys more than I really needed to there, but that's okay, probably. Oh, did another one just go down there? I've only got 1 in the air now. Wow. Yeah, that was quite sloppy. I got a really nice chase, and I managed to kill like 3, I think, and then I just flew over the anti-air and lost 3 of my own, so... That was not exactly ideal, but it'll do. Catharsis getting siege cruiser fabrication, by the way. So he's now at that stage where he's ready to go siege air, and as we know, that can be very deadly. 2 blast drones also slipping into the back ranks. What a nice move, I really enjoy that. Just splitting up here to make sure I don't get missile barrage too badly, but I do want to clear out that anti-air if it's possible. The big story, though, is that I've really got a bit of a route going on over here, and I almost killed that production cruiser. If I'd been able to get just a couple more shots on it, it may have gone down. At any rate, I've held him off of his second base now for quite some time. And, you know, it's having a bit of an awkward standoff here. They could just pop in and kill that guy. But that's very good news that I've been able to hold him off of his base like that. I now have more air units as well, so I've got the air superiority, and it's really starting to look like I've mounted the comeback successfully. He is going to respond, so he has the 2 blast drones in here, going to take out all 4 of these salvagers, which is pretty rough. Oh, they missed! They only get 2 of them. That was a little bit unfortunate right there. He's going to come in for a hit on the assault ships. I'm going to chase, and he does turn around, so this is going to turn out very nicely for me, probably. All my interceptors targeting the same unit. Best micro 2019, right? Oh, I can't say that anymore because it is 2019. Best micro 2020? I don't know. But yeah, the air fight's still going in my way. He has only 1 air unit left. And I've got 7. Or at least, you know, 6 with 1 being produced. So this siege of his had better make a big difference, but he's not producing it just yet. Production cruiser gonna get sniped here. I know that there's really nothing. No, I've run out of missiles, actually. I was gonna say, I know that there's not really any anti-air here except for this missile ship, but actually, I ran out of missiles, so I was not able to capitalize on that, but here are the assault ships. They should be able to do just fine. That should be a dead production cruiser. And at this point, it starts looking really dire, I think, for Catharsis. Although, I'm really just not interested, I guess, in the CUs. So that's fine, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, I see some potential really good value over here as well. We'll take out 2 assault ships on top of that. And back I go with the assault ships. Now, this is a really nice move by the sand skimmers here to get a bit of a flank. Obviously, they can't do anything up in the front line, right? But in the back lines here, they may be able to get some really good value, especially as there are heavy railguns coming out. This is a juicy target for him. Catharsis not replacing his air, but he really can't, you know. He's never going to win that air war. So instead he's going for siege now, just trying to do siege and anti-air. If I had told my interceptors to target this block here, I could have perhaps gotten some really nasty splash damage on him, but it's going to be close as to whether or not I manage to save this production cruiser right here. But I think I would... no, I'm not going to, because I forgot to move the sandstorm, so that's a little bit sloppy, obviously. And because he died there, it also took down the heavy railgun with him. You have to have the unit come completely out of the production cruiser before it dies, or else it'll also get killed in the explosion. But look at this, actually. I just now realized I'm moving in with this force of assault ships here, and there's obviously nothing that can deal with this. Fortunately, missile ships have quite a large view radius, and so they're able to see that. And they are not gonna... He's not gonna get caught off guard, but, I mean, he still has to move off of his main here. And, oh, you really don't want to stop. You want to keep going. Oh, look at that. I'm going to go for, like, the sandwich on 2 sand skimmers. That's obviously not not worth it, but whatever. Actually, would you look at that? So Catharsis is going to try to replace his Air Force now, and I really don't think that's a good move, because I don't think he's ever going to be able to do it. Yeah, he saw railguns come out, and air counters rails pretty well, but I mean, I've got so many air units already. I mean, by the time he's finished with all of these, I could have who knows what. Looks like I'm going to Honor Guard cruisers, and that would be pretty backbreaking at this point. So I'm not sure if I really agree with this idea, but it'll do. So I did lose a production cruiser, so I'm having to replace. I've just made one right there. I'd really like to have another one, and as you can see, I'm going to make it. Because if I'm going to start making Honor Guard cruisers, I'm not going to have any production time in my production cruiser. So, you know, I want to be able to, or sorry, I'm not going to have any production time in the carrier, so I want to be able to have some, you know, some more production cruisers before I start that. I flew in there with the interceptors to see if I could kill this, siege cruiser, but I'm not going to be able to. There is anti-air in that area. Looking at it, I actually probably could still take that fight, but I'm going to choose not to. Those interceptors will live to fight another day. Railgun's finding a good angle against that siege cruiser, but he does manage to back away over the boom. I do have the upgrade lead, but just narrowly, so high ground is going to kind of decide this fight. I don't have high ground particularly well here, but focus fire is better for me. Air units also getting called in here, but they won't be able to do too much. They're not really that effective against skimmers, but here you go, they're very effective against siege. Gonna pop that siege cruiser quite easily. Air for Catharsis getting launched right here, but it's getting launched out piecemeal, of course, as it does. And it's just total pandemonium. I think I even wrote that in the chat at this point. I can't really remember. But because my guys are having to reload, he is getting a very nice attack there, and he's killing a lot of them, but I actually am going to take out his carrier in the meantime with these railguns. He comes back and fires a bunch of shots at them. I don't know if you noticed that, but it was too late. The carrier is going to go down. Really close finish there, because it looked like Catharsis actually had amazingly managed to just get air superiority once again. But I don't think it would have worked for him anyway. He had just lost a siege cruiser. This was not going particularly well for him over on this flank either. I think, is that true actually? No, I think that was doing fine for him. But still, I maybe would have been able to find a way around into his main. I had good production as well, so I think I probably was still going to win even if he had taken that fight there, but it would definitely have been closer. But, you know, that Khaaneph carrier proving once again that it is quite a squishy boy. Just going to get taken out by these railguns here before Catharsis can really react, so. Good game to him, though, and good finals indeed. I am going to be the winner of Kharak Cup 7, and hopefully Kharak Cup 8 too, right? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it was well fought by Catharsis. I thought it was an exceptional series. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you probably tomorrow, coming in with some coverage of either the 2v2 League or Kharak Cup 8, which is going to be played. But don't quote me on that. Sometimes I'm wrong.